Okay, so welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, this is where we take apart the chemistry hiding behind everyday kitchen claims. Today's one, ceviche looks cooked. The fish goes from translucent and glassy to opaque and firm, exactly like it does in a hot pan. Except there's no heat anywhere near it, just lime juice, salt, and thyme. So either our whole definition of cooking is wrong, or lime juice is doing something to that fish that just looks like cooking, but actually isn't. It's the second one, obviously. And it's the same protein story we keep coming back to on this channel. Just this time, acid's pulling the trigger instead of heat. Start with what raw fish actually is at the protein level. It's muscles packed with proteins, mainly myosin and actin. And in their natural state, they're tightly folded into these specific 3D shapes, held there by a network of weak bonds. If you saw the egg video, you already know this one. A folded protein propped up by bonds that are more like a house of cards than a locked box. And that fragility's the whole story here, because it means two completely different things can knock that structure down, heat or acid. So what does lime juice actually do to that fragile structure? It's acidic, full of citric acid, which floods the fish with H+ ions. Those ions mess with the same weak bonds we just talked about, the ones holding the protein's folded shape together. The bonds break, the protein unfolds, and just like scrambling an egg, once those unfolded proteins are loose, they tangle up with their neighbors and coagulate into something firmer, more opaque. That's denaturation. And here's the part worth sitting with. Denaturation was never really about heat specifically. Heat's just one way to break those bonds. Acid's another. The fish looks cooked because at the protein level, something very similar actually just happened. Here's the actual link. Heat and acid are two completely different mechanisms that end up in the exact same place. Heat adds energy. Molecules vibrate hard enough to shake the bonds apart. Acid does it chemically instead. The H+ ions just directly break the bonds, no energy required. Different cause, same effect. The protein unfolds and coagulates. That's why ceviche can look and feel cooked, opaque, firm, flaky, without a single degree of added heat. It's not an illusion, and it's not a texture trick. The protein has genuinely structurally changed. The door it walked through was just chemical instead of thermal. So here's the honest verdict. It's the part that actually matters for your kitchen. Texturally, structurally, acid denaturation is real. The change you're seeing is genuine chemistry, not a visual trick. But, and this bit's important, looking cooked and being safe the way heat cooking is safe are two completely different claims. Heat does double duty. It denatures the protein and it raises the fish's internal temperature high enough to knock down a lot of bacteria and some parasites. Lime juice only does the first part. It never touches the temperature, so it doesn't come with the same pathogen reduction guarantee heat does. That's exactly why ceviche recipes lean so hard on very fresh, sushi-grade fish. Acid alone isn't treated as a substitute for heat when it comes to actual food safety. And this is the pattern worth remembering. Cooked isn't really one thing. It's a label we slap onto a specific outcome, denatured, coagulated protein, without ever asking how many different doors can lead there. Heat's the one we default to. Acid's another one entirely, quietly doing the same job through a completely different mechanism. Once you start seeing protein denaturation as the actual event, instead of heat as the definition of cooking, a lot of kitchen chemistry just stops being mysterious. If you want more of this, taking apart the assumptions hiding in plain sight in your kitchen, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.